Ryan McCaffrey with Brian Altano. We are down in Anaheim, just steps from Disneyland, which is just, it's like taunting me over here.
Us.
But fortunately, we've got something to keep us busy. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. You and I just played about 2 or so hours of it. Not quite from the beginning, a little bit in. But what were your let's go with overall thoughts and we'll dig in from there, Brian.
So right off the bat, this game is a giant surprise for me because I feel like I had a kind of surface level understanding of what Fallen Order would be, which was a traditional single player game, action with a little bit of RPG elements. What's here is actually so much deeper. This is a giant world. This is full of collectibles and flora and fauna and bad guys and awesome fights. And I just feel like we have just barely scratched the surface just playing a few hours today. This is a much deeper game than I think either of us thought it would be.
Yeah, the skill tree alone is this massive spider web. You've got all kinds of choices. I can't imagine you'll be able to max everything in the course of a playthrough. And yeah, I think I'm with you. Like I think I expected a pretty linear action game, but there's a ton of Metroidvania elements, platforming elements, all kinds of stuff. What's sort of your favorite moment or aspect of it so far?
I think that's sort of like, it takes a lot of elements from some of my favorite games. It's got sort of like the combat and the bonfires of something like Dark Souls or Bloodborne. It's got the kind of like puzzle design and level layout of something like God of War or Tomb Raider. It has the map system from Metroid Prime. It's got a little bit of Zelda Temple in there. And then it takes all of these elements from some of my favorite games and puts them in Star Wars, which is my favorite universe. And it's like really cool to see all this stuff come together, because it makes me want to poke around and explore every corner and use force powers to break open walls and open up chests and collectibles. And I want to 100% this game, and I feel like that's going to take a very long time to do.
Totally agree. Yeah, we during our session we got force push a good chunk of the way through, and that started to open up a lot of other bits.
Yep.
I was really stoked about dismemberment. I know that sounds gross and weird to say, but no, it's a big thing at E3 was, oh, well, you can't dismember anyone, you can't cut off any limbs, you've got this insane, powerful lightsaber. But it turns out you can totally dismember anything that's not human.
Yep, which is awesome, and there's a lot of enemies like that in the game, which is great. I really love like all the dogfighting stuff in Battlefront and the sort of like the the soldier level like blaster combat in those games. But what I really love about Star Wars is like bizarre planets and weird alien creatures, and like coming into an environment and having this gigantic beast that you've never seen before start charging at you, and then taking your lightsaber and cutting his limbs off is incredibly awesome. It just feels really, really good.
Yeah, there's there were physics puzzles. There was a lot going on in this, and we were only playing on one world, and we still weren't done with it after the 2 hours. So that's, I think, that's a big takeaway, is this thing seems a lot deeper than certainly you and I were expecting, and it seems like, to your point, it's definitely taunting you to 100% it, but it's going to take quite a while.
Yeah, this is something, like I said, I was excited for and had sort of like cautious optimism, because I've been burned by single player Star Wars games before when they do at least come out. I mean, most of the times they don't even do that. But this is suddenly now I feel going to be a legit Game of the Year contender for me, and that's the best thing I could possibly say walking out of here today, because that just makes the month wait very, very difficult.
As long as EA doesn't cancel it in the next month, I think we're good to go. It's not going to happen. It's fine.
Happen. No, it's
for Brian Altano, I'm Ryan McCaffrey. For all things Star Wars, keep it tuned right here to IGN.